3年半ぶりの続編か。
So have I, buddy! So have I. Hello and welcome again to Oldtaku New Tricks. Alright, I'm just gonna go out and ask it. Is One Punch Man Season 2 the most, or not the most, disappointing anime of the year? Look, I'm aware I'm not alone in this feeling, as I see that everyone and their mother spewing bile like Niagara Falls on One Punch Man at the moment. And while I don't like the feeling of dogpiling onto a show that has the crap kicked out of it practically since it premiered, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't frustrated to the point of anger by it. I'll admit that I'm coming dangerously close to Abraham Simpson old man yells at cloud territory, but at this very moment, while recording this very episode, this is honestly how I feel. So, might as well give that dead horse a few extra lashings. In case if you've been blissfully unaware, One Punch Man is about Saitama here, a low-level hero who is able to beat every single bad guy in a single punch, no matter how otherwise strong and seemingly unbeatable they might be, because he trained for 3 years by doing 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, and running a 10K every day. If you think that's utterly ridiculous, then congratulations, you have got One Punch Man better than JC Staff ever did. As you might surmise, having your protagonist be the veritable one above all might lead to complications as far as storytelling is concerned, and while it would eventually be proven to be right, you wouldn't know it by watching the first season. Essentially, the entirety of One Punch Man is a send-up of not only anime and Super Sentai shows, but also superhero movies, cartoons, video games, and other such nerd ephemera. The central joke being that despite being the most powerful person in the known universe, Saitama is still kind of a clueless, underachieving doofus who is only really in it for the entertainment value, not for any sense of heroism or justice.
Today is bargain day at the supermarket!
He's what happens if you took Goku to the most logical extreme, only really in it for the possible excitement from a fight. The joke being, of course, that oftentimes it's a problem that can't be solved with a fight. Even by shonen standards, this isn't the hardest show to wrap your head around. It's just a loosely guided parody, buoyed by spectacular fight scenes and popping off enough fireworks. At the end of the day, it's The Tick the Anime.
Aye, the Tick and Arthur, making their monkey troubles all over my plants once again. I hate those guys a lot.
And then Season 2 happened.
Okay.
Gone is any kind of sense of fun or parody, and in its stead are earnest attempts to try and turn OPM into an honest-to-God shonen character drama. And it couldn't have flopped harder if it was a canned clip on America's Funniest Home Videos. Let's start with the obvious problem. Saitama himself. If needs be reminded, he's a literal god on Earth. There is no one in the known universe that can match him in any sense of physical prowess. Hell, his very costume is tougher than any hero we've seen so far. And yet, for some reason, the show insists on trying to ratchet up legitimate drama about threats against Saitama, and it just wastes our time. You idiots! He's One Punch Man! If he could possibly be a legitimate threat against him, then he wouldn't be One Punch Man! Even if you tried to construe this as some kind of joke on the characters as they don't know Saitama's true strength, we, the audience, do. We know how it's gonna wind up, no matter how long they try to prolong it. And even then, when the show tries to portray their encounter as some kind of life lesson about not being such a greedy butthole or of the ilk, it's still a time waster because they keep getting the wrong idea about Saitama. It might work for Genos, Saitama's virtuous but ultimately naive disciple, but that kind of arc isn't a one-size-fits-all. And speaking of Genos, he goes from the secret main character in the first season to barely an afterthought in the second season. His arc just kind of freezes in place with no real momentum in either way. He exists in this frustrating quantum state of being simultaneously one of the most powerful characters to being a jobber and back again. He's reduced to a stopgap to pad the length of an episode before Saitama comes in and cleans house. But if you are looking for meaningful character development, don't you worry, because Season 2 has a veritable slap to the face in Garou. New to the series is a backwards-ass thinking malcontent who fancies himself a monster, All because he sympathized with the monster of the day from his childhood cartoons and he was bullied for it. That's it. That's his entire character motivation. Insert clip of Mr. Krabs playing the world's smallest violin here. I can't even begin to tell you how much I don't care about Garou, but he is arguably the main character of the second season. So over the course of the entire run, I went from not caring about Garou to actively despising him. The way the show insists upon going on and on about him and his past, about the reason why he wants to be a monster, and yet for some reason doesn't want to join the newly formed Monster Association, just puts my piss to a boil. If the show intended for me to get behind him as a hateable villain, then job well freaking done. But I sense I'm supposed to sympathize with the little turd. And here I was, thinking that Season 2 lacked a sense of humor. It certainly lacks a sense of direction, though, because the biggest problem with Season 2 is the fact that its plot is a fragmented, jumbled up, slashed to ribbons garbage fire. In the span of only 12 episodes, there are 3, if not more, different plot lines running along at the same time. The formation of the Monster Association and their plan to destroy the Hero Association, Garou's vendetta against mankind, and Saitama's tournament arc. Oh, fabulous day!
地獄送りしとうでお前の頭蓋骨は割れこの世と
頭触んなよ
As if tournament arcs couldn't get any more pointless! Even if you were able to ignore the aggravating storytelling, the annoying characters, the spinning its wheel in mud plot, and just wanted to see hyper-stylized fight and action scenes, it's still not that great. Ever since Mob Psycho 100 set the bar for this current generation, everyone else has been playing catch-up, with One Punch Man sadly bringing up the middle. It's not that the animation or choreography are bad by any stretch, it's that you expect way more than you wind up getting. There's no sense of creativity, and save for the final fight, no one scene has any kind of lasting impact. You just kind of go through the motions waiting for Saitama to get there, or for it to simply end. For full sake of transparency, one of the reasons why I liked the first season of One Punch Man back when I saw it in 2016 was because I felt like it thumbed its nose at mindless shonen trash. So to see it become mindless shonen trash hurts. The only way for something like Season 2 to fall so hard is to start at a higher point, and while the first season wasn't anything mind-blowing or life-changing, it was definitely the right anime at the right time. At least for me personally. It was cool seeing a show recognize the tired out tropes of the genre and just poke fun at them, as well as at themselves while doing it. But you know what happens to those that fight monsters, right? I'm pretty damn sure there's going to be a Season 3, but for the life of me, I cannot muster up any excitement for it. Only dread considering how many dangling plot threads are left to be resolved. I'd love for them to be able to pull off a miracle, but I'm not holding my breath. But what about all of you? What did you think of One Punch Man?